Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday, August 10. And I want to start with the weekly chart and just talk about the bigger picture here just quickly. So from this wave 4 here, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 working up for wave 5 of 3, which we have probably another 20 odd days to go, month, whatever. And then we'll be into wave 4, pulling back 38.2% roughly, and then wave 5 here. And I was always curious about, what would happen after we got to this wave 5 from this wave 4, because if you can imagine, we've got wave 3 and then wave 4 here and then wave 5. So it's quite a big cycle. And then there's another cycle on top of that as well. So this ending pattern here, would be quite severe, so to speak. So as you know, I've been sort of giving a bit of thought to that. And one of the things that popped up for me was that I understood that commodities are normally the last ones to the commodity cycle is normally the last one to sort of top out. And so I was having a look at Goldman Sachs commodity index here. And it's pretty much, I'll just bring this up here. It's pretty much sort of weighted quite big to the energy and the oil and gas and all those sort of things, but it does include, metals, industrial metals and nickel and all those sorts of things, and agriculture and all those, to a point. So, I'll need to sort of understand all that a little bit more, but in terms of Pete, the pattern man, so to speak, in terms of patterns, this commodity index here, I can see this. There was definitely a correction here, as an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave here. You could probably get an A and a B and a C wave out of this as well. It's just that the last move here was really quite clear in 3 waves here for that. So either way, it doesn't really matter if it's an A, B, C or a triangle. What the important thing is that this is also a monthly chart as well, where the last one was weekly. So we know a lot of commodities are correcting at the moment, like iron ore and copper and all those sorts of things. So we can see that we've got, wave 1 and 2 here. I won't go into any intraday, weekly or daily on this just yet, but just we've got 1 and 2 here and 3, and we're going back for wave 4 that can pull back 40%, so it can drop back into here somewhere for that. And obviously a classic trading levels pattern at 500, a level here, and then wave 5 to go up. So yeah, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, because we're getting I think that we'll soon know, if we do get 5 waves here, that means that we're getting 5 waves, an impulse wave in the opposite direction of the trend, because the trend has been moving down. So if we get 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend, then we can call that wave 1 here, or wave A. Yes, that's probable as well, and wave 2 here, and then wave 3. But even if it wasn't wave 3, it would be wave C at that point, but I'm pretty sure it's be 5 waves at that point. So we've got this commodity, kind of inclusive of most commodities to a point. So we've got this much larger impulse wave here occurring if we get 5 waves here. So that means that if we look back at this market here, we can look at this not as wave 5 here for this. We can move that across over here further and have this as wave 1 here. And let's just say that goes to 8,000 and I don't know, 200 or 300, whatever. And then this would be roughly the 50-60% retracement level here for this. So we're going to get something like this occurring, because we've got the banks to consider with this as well, of course, in this instance. And then we would have a sort of a larger ABC pattern here for wave 2, and then moving off into wave 3, going up to this wave 5 at that point. So the commodity index is just the first piece of a bit of evidence that I've sort of found that's possible for higher ground, and I just thought that was pretty exciting, really. Yeah, just in terms that, you know, because I was a bit concerned that we'd be going into a longer term bear market cycle, but it may not be the case. I mean, Bob Pratcher, he's been doing Elliott Wave since 1976. I came in 82, 83. He's called a lot of tops in, and well, really, none of them have really panned out as being the big top, but still, it could be right this time around. And he does some fantastic work, and he's probably he doesn't really do Elliott Wave that much anymore. He's into other things, but yeah, I mean, he's extremely good and thoughtful and thorough and so on, but he does get things wrong. That's all I'm pointing out. And yeah. So anyway, I'm just putting forward this case here. That's all. Something to sort of chew over, and it's just simply based on the commodity index here for this. I mean, even Goldman Sachs said that I think they come in around here somewhere, saying that they're in the in a big bullish cycle now for commodities. I don't know when they said that, but it was in here somewhere. But still, there's a bigger cycle here if we get an impulse wave for this. So I think that's pretty exciting. Happy news for Tuesday, really. Okay, let's get back to work, and we are looking from intermediate wave 2 to intermediate wave 3, and we're looking for 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're looking for 5 waves in this last leg here. So let's go in and just pull that apart a bit. So from wave 4 here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and looking for 5 waves up here. A little bit rough. We've already got 1 and 2, and we're obviously in the third wave coming here, and that can also, I need to really remove that now. It's been there too long, and I need to sort of shapen it up a little bit. But yeah, look, it's all going quite nicely along here. So let's go in further and check on that on the intraday and pick it up from this wave 4. So that's that blue wave 4, minute wave 4, and minuet wave 1 and 2 here, and we're looking up for 3, 4 and 5 here, and we need to tie this in with CBA and also the US markets as well. So that's all tying in. This ties in with the count that I got for the NASDAQ. So yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment with this. So we've got 75 as a nice 7,500 as a nice support. We'll be going up to 76. There's a few levels there on the way. I have to say, it is a little bit tricky to count some of this in here. I'm not quite sure if I've got it right in here or in here as well, but I'm not that fussed, to be honest, because I know that the market is still pushing up, and the US markets are pushing up, and we're seeing CommBank and push up. So we follow the CommBank trade that we've got, we'll be pretty well right. So anyway, we'll tune in. Once I get a clear wave 4 here, then we'll be able to pin that down a little bit better. But let's just cruise in here to the hourly chart and see what I've done here. So from wave 1 and 2 here. See, I don't even know if we should call this wave 1 and 2, because it's very rarely that you'd get like a top coming out and a B wave like this in a wave 2 situation. So there's quite a few things in here that that can be reorganized. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to the count. I know this little pattern in here is corrective, so we're going to be taking that high out, so that's a good step. And also in here as well, just using the levels, we've got 7,500. The 500 is the second strongest number, so that's fantastic. It was resistance and now it's support. And then we've moved up to group 1 here. So group 1 10, 20 and 30. So subgroup 1, that's got support, and it's trying to gain support on the 50, the next level, and then there'll be 80 here as well, and then we'll be at the 76 where we can expect a bit of a larger correction, but we can expect profit taking at a small amount at 8 here, so that might come in on the Thursday perhaps, you know. And yeah, so we're still just trending up. There's no sort of big deal there, and we can see that from CommBank side as well. CommBank chart's way over there, what they're doing on that screen. Okay, so let me just tune in. Let's just go back to the daily chart here just to get your bearings for one moment. So in this case too, we've got from wave 4 going up to wave 5. I'll need to move that up a little bit further. Yeah, same as the ASX 200. We've got 1 and 2 and nice strong third wave here and fourth wave. And we're going up for this particular structure here at the moment. So we had a bit of a target at 110. So we can pop that up here somewhere. We can move these along as we go. I prefer to just count, you know, rather than do projections. But yeah, I mean, it's good to get a rough idea of where we're sort of heading. So we're in this third wave here. Third waves can normally top out of the previous third wave tops, because it just gives people a psychological target to get to, you know. So we've got 2 trades in here, one below the level, one above the level. So we can just leave that for the time being. I don't want to put the stop too close because I want to get up here further. I want to accommodate this wave 4 pullback here, and, you know, get our money's worth basically out of this. So let's just go to the tick chart now that we've got our bearings. So that's our wave 4 there. Let's just squash this up a little bit. So I need to do a little bit of work here, but that would be 1 and 2. That's definitely a little fourth wave here and a fifth wave here for this. So what's the best way to? I'm not quite sure. I'll have to spend a bit of time on that, but okay. So I think that we might need to look at it like this. I'll come back and do some work on this later. It doesn't matter. We're still trending. We are where we are in this, and it's all good because we know we've got further to go to the upside. So this wave 4 could pull back to this wave 4, so we won't bring our stop up any closer than that. And yeah, so that's kind of. I mean, we're at 105 here, so it's really going to stick to this 105. I don't think it's going to come back and cover that gap. So it might take us up even higher than I'm thinking, but that's all good. Just keep adjusting things. We'll also be looking at ANZ as well, but ANZ is a bit of a follower. Well, I don't know if that's quite true. I mean, they've got assets in other countries, so slightly different. But yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment with all that. So that trade's going well. It's nice. And ANZ, so while the banks are going up, the resources are correcting. This is ANZ, so it's all good here. We're going to put this up here a little bit further to this old high here. That's got a bit more. I can see that it's probably where that gap is probably the third of the third within that space there. So that's good. We don't need that there anymore. That was just the 50-60% retracement level from that high. If we were going to cop any grief, that's where we were going to get it. But yeah, so look, we'll probably see this 29 have a bit of a dance around 29 before we see it move up further. And it's good really because it gives us a nice clear fifth wave high up here as well for this. I mean, it'd be nice if that was just there and there. I'll put that there for the time being, but in the meantime, expect a little dance to occur at 29 at this current high here that's going all good at that point. Yeah, we'll check on the intraday on this in due course. And that brings us over to the resources. So have a look at China's not doing much, still in its wave 4. Where's India? India here. Yeah, it's just doing its thing here. Everything's pretty cool here. It's just doing, we're just looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. We're going to take profit at the 16,500 for this trade and this trade in here. You could probably bring the stop up a little bit more for that. And the market could certainly go higher here, but we'll just take our piece of the pie because we're going to see a dance across that level there for that. And the iron ore still trending down nearly 4%. So this is a tick chart here, 100 ticks. So from the top here, we've got an A wave here, all the way across here for a B wave here. And I was looking down at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and coming down here for 5. So I think we're pretty close to the end here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and another little 5 waves in here for this. But the worst case scenario is that we're not at the low. We've got a wave 3 here. I was looking at, if I can come back to this charting program for a moment and come back to, where's that? Just this one here. So this is, COMEX futures for iron ore, where the other one was out of China as well. Obviously this here is part of that. Now this is a monthly chart, so you can see it up here is a monthly chart, and that's all the data that this program has on this here. So I was thinking that this move up through here, it's probably a series of 1s and 2s in here, and then this is a third wave in here. So in here, I can, from the low here, I can see we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for 5 here. So if we were looking for a pullback for wave 4, we would be looking roughly at the 38.2%. So, you know, this has moved down here quite nicely to, it's still got a little bit further to go here. So I'm going to take it over to the weekly chart now. The daily chart is just a whole lot of dots. So like if I'll come back to this, if I just go to the daily chart to go in here further to understand things, it's a little bit tricky to see things in there. So I'll just have to look at the weekly chart here. But once again, the 38.2% retracement level is here. I can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So all that's a third, fourth wave. So it could pull back to the 150, which is the medium level, and the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. But the 38.2% retracement level is a little bit higher. So normally what I do is I just grab that low here and put that in there to the 38.2%, and that just gives us a bit of a ballpark of where we could look at that. I mean, this here is a bit, I can't pull that apart to have a look at it, but I can see that from there to there is the 5th wave, and this will be the 3rd wave in here, and this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the first wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So yeah, I don't know how this will play out. We'll keep a bit of an eye on it as such. And as I mentioned in this market here, it's a bit like this is quite weighted to crude and so on in here. So we can see that the energy and the Brent and all the gas and all that stuff. It's still got the other commodities in here as well, but it's kind of weighted to that. So this is what we're going through in oil at the crude oil at the moment in this wave 4 pullback here for this. So yeah, while the banks are pushing up, the commodities are pushing up. And mind you, when I say banks, I mean we've got US banks also pulling back in a 4th wave as well. So the Australian ones are a little bit offset. So yeah, but our boys here will be, they just short-term traders just move between finance and the resources in that regard. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to point out there. The other thing we could have a look at here is copper as well. Just, this is COMEX copper, and this is a weekly chart. We can see that move up here, like the copper that we look at, is in 3 waves. So that means that we should be coming down to make a new low, and this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So we should be coming back here somewhere in this space. I was just thinking that's better way to do that would be with the levels. So that's at 4. So 4 is a medium level, so we can just look at that in that light. That would be sort of handy. And we're looking for just a simple A, B, and C here at this stage for this. And we'll probably need to lift that up at least to minor level. Something like that. So that's the COMEX ones. We'll tune in. We'll get better counts on this. But and what's this other copper one here? That's the futures market. So it's the same as well. I thought the H1 was the continuous. Not that it matters. Anyway, yeah. So that's iron ore, and we want to have a look at crude. So crude here, yeah. So while we're here, we just put that there, copy that, put that there. That will just give us wave 3 at that point. So we'll need to put this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5 to finish off that, and then we can put that wave 4 in over here. Obviously this is just really, as I say in Australia, rough as guts. We'll see how that plays out. Is there any other way to count that? Yeah, we could look at down as an ABC correction, I guess, but we've got that on our charts anyway. So let's just go back to the daily chart just to get some perspective on that. So we've hit the medium level here and we've bounced off that. So we've just been looking at that then as a wave C coming down through here, right? Coming down, keep counting that down to come back to the wave 4 in this box here. But we could get something like this. So the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here, and then down. So anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not on the long side here for a while anyway. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I'll just put that in grey here. That we're tracking that count on our website. So on our daily charts for that. So we're not ready to go yet. When that comes down, when this is finished here, we'll start to have a look at what I will do is we'll look at the gas market. But I know where the gas market is. We've still got another move down in natural gas anyway. But we'll bring that into the fold because we don't really have a lot of oil stocks here. We've got we've got Woodside Gas and Santos and those guys, and Oil Search and a few little guys and BHP, so on. So, but yeah, we'll have a look at the gas at that point. And what else do we need to have a look at here? We'll have a look at copper and gold. So copper is here. I still think we need to, it looks quite good at the moment, because if I looked at this here as wave 1 here, and then an A and a B and a C wave here, I don't worry about the spike too much, and then here as down for 1 here, back for 2 here, and all of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. So this is probably wave 1 and 2 here, so I still think there's a bit more downside here to go. And that sort of brings us into the Australian dollar, because that hasn't, being a commodity dollar, that hasn't quite landed yet. So this is the 4-hour chart that we've been working on. So wave 3 at the top here, this is definitely corrective. I mean, the the pound and the euro are firming up at the end of their corrections now as well, but this has still got a little bit more to go down here. So I'm thinking a breach of that low. So we could end up down at 72, but markets, you know, when you're looking for tops and bottoms, they don't kind of finish off where they're supposed to, where you would want them to, or where you think that they would. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. So it can be a bit tricky. But if we looked at that as wave 1 and 2 here, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, because the third wave normally, you know, hits the bottom or the top of the previous wave. So we'll still have, this could still come back up here and then have another move down through to here, something like that. So maybe 72, 72 or something, 72, 72 or something. Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, not finished yet for that. But anyway, we'll keep working on that. And the gold market really fell out of bed. So we're looking at this in two ways. We're looking at it as, well, three ways really. I want to look at two ways today. Is the A, the B, and the C wave here. It is possible to get this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Bit of a long shot. And then either we're finished here or we go into a three-wave move for the D wave, which we've already moved up for kind of one of them here anyway, and the D wave up to the 61.8%, which would be roughly around the 1800, and then another three-wave move here for this. So looking at something like that. I'm not quite sure just yet. Not that it matters at this stage too much. The silver market was also interesting because, you know, I've had this here as the A wave over here, the A, the B, and the C for the B wave, and then 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 here. We could make a new low here. I need to spend a bit more time on here to understand it, but we're certainly in the right track here for this. You know, if silver made support back on the $25 mark here, then it would be a buy at that point. But anyway, I'd like to do some more work on this. I need to sort of pull this apart. If you're in the silver market and you like silver and you think you've got a count, well then please send it over to me to help me out get through some of these tasks. Yeah, there's something else I was going to say about gold, but I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, okay. When I do the gold chart, when I do the gold today, I'll think about it, and also have a look at the dollar and the yields as well, see how they're shaping up for that. Rightio. So that's kind of the banks and the commodities. So we do want to have a look at the other guys. So I want to have a look at BHP in the US. So because the commodities are in a wave 4, I think this is a reasonable pattern to include for US BHP here. So we're on the last leg coming down here. So in an E wave. So this will probably land here when the banks top out. As I mentioned yesterday, it's probably not such a bad idea to move all your resource stuff over to the banks. And when the banks top out, then we can bring it back over here. Now this is US BHP, and it's a nice triangle looking pattern here. The Australian market has a slightly different count that's a bit difficult to bring into a triangle pattern. Let me find that, and this is on the weekly here. So I can't bring this into a triangle pattern here for this, but I can bring it into a running flat or a flat correction or an expanded flat correction, but I don't even know if that's correct yet either. So this wave 4 over here still may be correct. So I don't know if it's going to come back down through here. I mean, what we could really consider is that it being, well, we've had the arrival and the reaction here. This is not really, well, we could look at it as the first high above the level, but it's really quite small. It's sort of more suitable to this one, but this is like a nice first high above the level here, and it does have a nice impulse wave up through here. It could pull back 50-60% and then move off again. It could give us 5 waves down here. To finish off, so an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves down here, and then moving off there. So I don't know. That's the truth of it. I know there's pressure for the downside when we look at copper and oil and iron ore and all those sorts of things. But it's holding up reasonably well. But yeah, expect further downside for this at least. That's. Yeah, so I don't know what you want to, how you want to sort of play that. And this particular pattern is very much like Fortescue as well. So I think I'm going to have to rearrange things here. So we're going to move that out of the way. We won't need that. We're going to put that over here. Don't need that. We're going to put that B wave over here. And we're going to put, we don't need that. Put them into the rubbish bin and we'll put that as the A wave here. I'm okay with this. There's going to be support here. There's a lot to get through here at the moment. But yeah, as I mentioned quite a few times, is that I could always only get 3 waves out of this move here. So it was always like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. But when we made a new high here, I thought, oh, maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe there is 5 waves in here. So yeah, a bit tricky, but I think it's just the A wave to here, the B wave to here. So we can just grab these little guys over here now for this and put this here. I mean, if this is going to move down further, then iron ore is going to be moving down further as well. Because it took just to nip the top out here, it's likely to just nip the bottom out here and, be a trap for other people. So we'll see, but then we'll push up into that space for that. Yeah, that's probably the most likeliest scenario at this stage. So just a much larger correction occurring here for this. Okay, I think I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'll look at the dollar and the the yield and that on the on the gold market. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.